Hello and welcome to Big Picture. I am Vishal Dahiya, and today we're going to talk about the monsoon session of Parliament, which begins from 14th of September. Now, this is going to be a really important session, and all eyes will be on it, not only because of the COVID-19 pandemic situation, but because of the legislative agenda out there, and obviously the use of technology in ensuring the success of this particular session. Effectively, as per the government's legislative agenda, there are 23 new bills in addition to several others which have been pending from the previous sessions. And today we will talk about all these aspects. Joining us for more on this is a distinguished panel of guests. Let me first introduce them to you, beginning with two senior journalists, Mr. Ashok Tandon and Mr. Sanjay Singh, who are there with us. And also we have Mridula Raghavan. She is a program manager at PRS Legislative. Let me begin with you, Mr. Sanjay, and let's try and understand, the importance of this particular session. After spending almost 6 months, fighting with the COVID-19 pandemic, and this particular battle is still on, but the legislative processes have to go on. That is why we have this particular session starting from 14th of September. The government's legislative agenda is also quite wide, and the opposition too definitely has a lot of issues which they would want to discuss.
Yeah, Vishal, this session, the monsoon session, I think is going to mark a history. The largest democracy is here to show as to how about 800 parliamentarians, MPs, are going to conduct business. And I hope that is going to be conducted very soon. First, about the technological aspect and the innovation that are going to be made there. For the people of this country and also people outside, this would be a treat to watch as to how India conducts such a thing during pandemic time, taking care of all the COVID-19 protocols. A is paperless, mostly paperless. And second thing is, you talked about legislations. About 24 legislation are there to be brought in, and besides whatever too many things are going to be discussed. Obviously, the government's efforts taken during the pandemic, the Indo-China situation in Ladakh, and so many things that opposition would want to discuss, and the government also like to make their point of view very clear. Apart from that, there are very important ordinances that have been passed during this period intervening between budget session and monsoon session. About a dozen of them are lying there. Some of the most important are banking regulation, essential commodities thing, farmers trade and commerce, dismantling of APMC that had happened there, and a whole lot of other things. These are very important things. And remember, given the time frame that we have, the two houses of parliament are working alternatively. Say on the opening day, the Lok Sabha will function from in the morning from 9 to 1 4-hour session of Lok Sabha. Then Rajya Sabha comes into picture, takes the place. They sit from 3 to 7 again for 4 hours. Next day, situation changes. The Rajya Sabha is going to sit in the morning and Lok Sabha in the afternoon. Usually, both sessions used to sit simultaneously, one in Lok Sabha chamber, another in Rajya Sabha chamber. And this by itself is a very new experiment. And for that, I think the parliamentarians, the MPs, are in previous sessions we have seen, they sat for long hours, even as there had been disruptions. But they sat through long hours to clear the legislative bills. And government is very keen about that. So I think these plus the bills that are proposed and also the discussions that are going to be held, that is very crucial. And just one short point, the convening of monsoon session is also a psychological booster, because we are unlocking various sectors and economy is coming back on the track, and the metro has also started now. So this, I think, is going to be also give a psychological situation as to how to maintain COVID-19 protocol, but also carry on our day-to-day functions, and the life goes on, and the official business also goes on.
Okay. Indeed, out there, as Sanjay Singh is pointing out, there has been a lot of effort and a lot of planning which has gone in ensuring that, this particular session of the parliament is, goes ahead smoothly without any problem. And we'll talk about in detail that as well. But let me bring in Mr. Ashok Tandon here. Mr. Tandon, there are several decisions which the government has taken in this interim period from the last days of March when the budget session was brought to an end, and now that the parliament will be meeting again on 14th of September. Now, those particular decisions, some of them which were promulgated via ordinance, will obviously be ratified by the parliament. They will also be really important to keep an eye on. But apart from that, according to you, what is going to be really high on the government's agenda?
I think foremost on the government agenda, the government mind, is a discussion on the India-China conflict and tensions on the border. And as we understand from the media reports, the government is planning to initiate suo motu a short duration discussion under Rule 193 in the Lok Sabha and Rule 176 of the Rajya Sabha. So in both the cases, there is no voting at the end of the discussion. But the fact remains that at the outset, very outset of the session, in both houses of parliament, the opposition would try to corner the government on this very issue, which is very sensitive from the Indian and country security point of view. So therefore, the government may, in the Business Advisory Committee, in the very first day, will propose a short duration discussion, which obviously would be initiated by a member from the ruling alliance, and the reply would come from the concerned minister. I think that is to rest the initiative from the opposition by suo motu going in for a wide range of discussion on this very sensitive issue, which has been agitating the mind of all Indians. And the government also has plenty of things to tell the nation, whether it is because of the dialogue in Moscow between with our defense minister or our external affairs minister. I think the government is on a very positive wicket on this issue. So therefore, it will not like the opposition in any way try to corner it. So I think that is going to perhaps be the first item. And I think, according to me, that is perhaps one of the reasons why on the first day, the Lok Sabha would be sitting from 9 to, and on the rest of the days, Lok Sabha would sit in the afternoon. But both houses will witness this debate, which is likely to be very stormy. And I think, and there are a couple of other issues which, again, the opposition may like to raise, whether it is the fight against COVID-19 or the flood situation or other, the regional parties also have plenty of issues to raise. So short duration discussion, calling attention motion, all these motions will be part of the agenda on day-to-day basis, because that is why there is no recess, there is no holiday, there is no weekly offs. 18-day session, apart from the government agenda, which of course is there. There are 11 ordinances to be replaced by legislation. But I think the political issues will certainly make this session a very stormy, and whether it is fight against COVID or giving relief to poor people, 800 million people have been, given free food. All these issues will be there in the government kitty, which we would like to share with the House and through the House with the people of this country. And also, as Sanjay said, the whole world would be watching this particular special, very unique session. And I must say a word of appreciation for the two presiding officers, the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, and the Lok Sabha Speaker, Mr. Om Birla. They have worked a tremendous effort. They have made tremendous effort in the last 2-3 months to make this session a success. And all the arrangements are in place. Testing of all the members, etc. So I think they deserve a word of appreciation that they have really made this such a unique session to happen.
Okay, definitely the entire workforce at both the secretariats, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, have worked in tandem with each other to ensure that this particular session is conducted successfully, and that involves a lot and lots of issues and factors. But coming back to the agenda, the parliamentary agenda or the legislative agenda, as Mr. Tandon and Mr. Singh pointed out, it's not only the government, but the opposition also. Both sides seemingly have a lot of issues to discuss. There will be a lot of bills also. And as the agenda right now says, 23 new bills. So, Mridula, if you would like to sum up for us in terms of the agenda which has been set there for both houses to follow in terms of legislative business, and in addition to that, what more can be expected?
Right. So as has been earlier pointed out, on the agenda, we have 40 bills for introduction, consideration, and passage in total. 11 of the 40 are ordinances that were promulgated between end of March and now. These relate to giving powers to the RBI to regulate cooperative banks, reforms in agriculture, protection of healthcare workers against violence. So these ordinances are a good chunk of what's on the legislative agenda, and for the ordinances to continue to be enforced, they have to be ratified by Parliament this session. Other than ordinances, we have the 3 labor codes: industrial relations, social security, and occupational health and safety. They were with the committees. They will now be taken up for discussion and consideration. Another set of bills have to do with health, particularly women's health. During the budget session, we saw that the medical termination of pregnancy was introduced and passed in the Lok Sabha. So that bill will now move to Rajya Sabha for consideration. Rajya Sabha also has a surrogacy bill to be taken up. And a bill around assisted reproductive technology is set for introduction in Lok Sabha. All the legislative business aside, there is also financial business to be done. Whenever the government would want to incur an additional expense, a supplementary demand for grants is introduced. So in this session, there is also going to be discussion and voting on supplementary demand for grants.
Okay. So this seems quite a lot of work at hand out there. If you look at the legislative agenda, if you look at the other issues as well, which are likely to be brought in for discussion in several formats, be it short-term, short duration discussion or calling attention motion. But Sanjay ji, all of us know that the truncated duration of the session, and the reason behind that is obviously to ensure that the COVID norms of physical distancing or social distancing are adhered to, and that is why we will have members sitting in both houses and in the gallery as well. And that is the reason behind the truncated duration of 4 hours each every day and 18 sittings in all. So how would you look at the flow of work during these all 18 days in terms of all this agenda which is there, because this agenda is quite a lot?
We shall look at it from a different perspective. As Tandon Sir was saying, this is really a very, very commendable thing on part of 2 presiding officers of 2 houses, Chairman Rajya Sabha and Speaker Lok Sabha. Look at also from parliamentarians' perspective. Of course, they consulted with all the stakeholders and other people concerned. Then parliamentarians are often accused of not working. Here is a situation where Parliament is going to work through the weekends, and though the time, I don't know if at all something more important comes, whether or not that is going to extend beyond 7 p.m. or on some days, say, Lok Sabha is going to function beyond 1 p.m. or Rajya Sabha is going to function beyond 1 p.m. That, of course, would be something seen. But in this situation, they are going to work very hard, come all on all the weekends, and also adapt, which is, of course, technology is going to be a great enabler in this situation. But remember, average age of Rajya Sabha is MP 63 and Lok Sabha is around 54, 55. So they're adapting to the technology in the sense, obviously, people are going to be sitting, some in Lok Sabha, some in Rajya Sabha, some in the visitors gallery up on the first floor. So they're coming together. Also, the papers which are laid on and the kind of volume of papers that is churned every day and placed to every individual MPs. Now they're going to access all those things online through an app or something. They're going to, of course, nobody is there to assist them. So obviously that Digital India thing, which started with a great deal of enthusiasm and vigor, that also we see another manifestation of Digital India coming through in this monsoon session. And then the kind of debates that is going to be produced. Of course, the government is going to be challenged because these are tough times, very challenging times, both in terms of economy and both in terms of societal situation, in terms of people's livelihood. When lockdown began, I think Prime Minister Modi chose life over livelihood, because if that had not been done, situation would have been completely devastating. And now the economy coming back to real. So that combination, of course, people are going to be talking about it. The government is going to be saying things, some suo moto, some in response to queries. And people, I think, would be very, very eager this time, to see the kind of visuals that are emanating from there for people sitting in different areas, the kind of work that they are going to do out there, and the way this whole thing proceeds emanates from Parliament of India.
Okay. Mr. Tandon, your views on that aspect, use of technology, as Sanjay is pointing out, that this time around, this will be the highlight, and how the parliamentarians and the support staff is adapting to that use of technology, and obviously making Parliament a paperless domain is something which was already a work in progress, but the COVID-19 pandemic situation seems to have further accelerated this process.
Certainly, many of our MPs are, old school of thought MPs, and they may not be well versed with the technology, but they will have to learn it. And especially, even attendance will have to be marked on an e-portal. And the question since it is not there, but the written answers will be provided. But the condition is that the questions will have to be submitted online and 15 days advance notice. So I think it will be a great learning experience for members of Parliament, and I do hope that all of them will be able to cope with that. The only problem will be that only one assistant of a minister will be allowed inside, and no help of the MPs will be allowed inside the Parliament building. So that may be a bit of a handicap for the members of Parliament. But as Sanjay was saying, many of our MPs are beyond 65 years of age, and some of them may be reluctant to even come to the House. And there are reports that some regional parties are in fact advising their elderly MPs to skip this session. But you never know, it will be a great experience. But one aspect I think which we need to focus on is the security aspect. And because there will be masks, etc., and there have been threats to our Parliament, so security has been beefed up. That's why both the presiding officers have been holding series of meetings with regard to security. In fact, Speaker Mr. Om Birla had a very detailed discussion with all the health-related experts and also DRDO and other security-related agencies to ensure that not only the session is smooth, but also all the SOPs are observed for the safety of our elderly members and all members of Parliament, but at the same time providing a foolproof security to Parliament House and, of course, all those who will be attending the Parliament session. So in many respects, there will be a lot of firsts which we will be witnessing in this session. It will be a unique session, a very historic session, and I think it will be a great learning experience for all of us, including media persons, who also will have to go through so many barriers of security, etc. Not all of them may be permitted inside. They may have to cover the proceedings from outside on a screen, because even members who will be sitting in the each other house will be watching the proceedings on television screen. And the special arrangements have been made for the sound system, ecosystem. Is sitting in the Rajya Sabha gallery, the Lok Sabha members can see the proceeding, in fact, even participate in the proceeding. So it's going to be a great experience. And I think India is fighting back. And that is exactly what be demonstrated by our parliamentarians to all democracies in the world. And this is how 130 billion people are fighting this pandemic.
Okay. Definitely, the way the Parliament will function and, different aspects of this particular monsoon session clearly indicate our nation's will to fight back as far as COVID-19 pandemic is concerned. Mridula, your views on the use of technology and that entire concept of making Parliament a paperless domain. This seems to be, getting a big push in this particular session.
That's right. I concur with what has already been said. It's going to take a great deal of coordination between the galleries and the chambers where large TV screens are fitted so that members can still continue to observe the proceedings. It's one that I am also eager to watch.
Okay. There it is. Sanjay, your concluding comments before we bring this to an end in terms of what we might witness in the next 18 to 19 days.
I'm personally very curious to see how it functions. So Monday is going to be a great day for people and also for parliamentarian journalists, of course, and more so the kind of business that is going to be conducted. And to say for 18-day session, without weekends, without holidays, without private member bills, 11 of them, the ordinances which have to be kind of passed by both houses of parliament to turn into normal legislative, normal acts on the ground. So that, of course, by itself is a huge task. And thereafter, the kind of issues that are going to be raised, some issues of popular concern, people at large, and some issues which concerns India's integrity, sovereignty, and territory.
Okay, there it is. Thank you so much, Sanjay Singh, Ashok Tandon, and Mridula Daya for sharing your time and views with us and our viewers. This is all about the forthcoming monsoon session of Parliament, wherein all eyes will be set on Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha to try and see as to how the business is transacted with the help of technology, with the help of other tools in this COVID-19 pandemic situation, and also the kind of legislative agenda which is on the table out there, in addition to several other issues which both the government and the opposition would like to raise and discuss and debate. We'll keep on bringing you all the details and the live telecast of proceedings in the upper house of the Parliament. Till then, keep watching Rajya Sabha Television. Thank you.